there. It's Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. And I am so excited. I got a new book that is coming out, and I got a pre-order copy, an advanced copy to take a look at. And I'm going to share it with you. So stay tuned. So my friends over at David & Charles Publishing said, hey, you know what? We know you like our stuff. Is there anything else that you see coming out? And I was like, I was really excited about this book. It's not out yet. It doesn't come out until mid-October. So like in a week. But you know, if you're seeing this video and it's after October 15th, it's already out. Go and get it. But you can pre-order it right now on Amazon. It's normally going to be $26.99. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be $24.99. But you might be able to get a little bit of a discount if you pre-order it. But get in there fast. If not, it's going to be $24.99. That's not difficult at all. This book is written by Naomi Vincent. Now, Naomi lives in Dorset. That's in the UK. One of my favorite spots, you know, me and the Brit. David & Charles is a British publishing company, but this book is written in US crochet terms. I checked it through, and it says it right here in the beginning that these are in US crochet terms. Right here, but it gives you the abbreviations and then the conversion over. All right, so why was I interested in this book? How many of you, and I know if you crochet or knit at all, and you gotta have scraps. I have so many scraps. See all those up there? Those are all scraps. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with those, right? This book solves the problem. This talks to you, it tells you how to take those scraps, how to make them into a cake of yarn, all different colors, and then it gives you all these great projects that you can do with it. And I was like, okay. See, I didn't realize that yarn scraps and cakes was even a thing. I mean, I'd never really put them all together and said, man, what can we do with that? So I was so excited when I saw this book, and I was like, wait, tell me more about what we're doing here. So, and basically it tells you how long the pieces need to be, you know, like an arm's length, how to do the magic knot to tie them together so they won't come unraveled. Talks about what a scrap cake is. I'm so excited. I was like, I have got so many scraps, and you don't really want to toss them, but you're like, what are you going to do with them, right? So this way you can put them all together. You can color coordinate them. You can just like do all kinds of crazy colors. You can do whatever you want with them. Or this was one thing I found really interesting. So here, they actually said, here, start with a picture. I was like, oh my gosh, what a great idea. And then find scraps and yarns that kind of go into those pictures. So you can kind of look for a theme like here. They've looked for a theme. This is New York City. And then they put them all together like here. And then basically it shows you how to tie them together, and then you wind them into a ball. And then here's the arm span. So it's very comprehensive. I think that the one takeaway, here's the magic knot secret. And let me tell you, once you learn that, game changer. How many times have you tried to like tie yarns together, and then you start like moving on with your project, and all of a sudden they come apart, and you're like, oh, because the knot literally just goes, and it just slips right apart. So the magic knot will alleviate that from happening. Now, scrap cakes for universal projects. So you got your crazy granny square, and then you got your circles, and then like just a regular old rug. I've seen scarves done with the scrap cake here. So basically it's showing you this one here. It says scrap cake 1. This is suitable for stitches that require less yarn, such as a single crochet and half double crochet. So it tells you how to make this particular cake if you have, like, if you're doing a smaller project, right? Scrap cake 2, it tells you like 100 centimeters. The first one's 50 centimeters. And the third one allows you to build custom scratch cakes for your stitch and row length. So it basically, depending on what you want to do, what your project is going to be, what kind of a cake you're going to make. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at that pretty, just gobbledygook of oodles and beautiful colors. Beautiful cowl. So if you are afraid of color, maybe this book isn't for you. I am a sucker for color. But I think that, I mean, if you don't like color, you probably don't have a lot of color in your stash. It doesn't mean that you can't make a scrap cake out of more of your neutral colors or your blacks and your whites and whatever. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be in a bunch of colors. I think the only rule is, for the most part, is that if you want to make something that's kind of uniform, you want to make sure that your yarns are the same types and the same weight. I think that's probably going to be your biggest rule. Look how gorgeous that is. fun. That's beautiful. So this is called the Sunshine Wrap. And then it gives you the pattern and it tells you how many yards you're going to need and what size yarn cake you're going to need. Yarn. And some people like to weigh their yarn cakes, and that's how you figure out, you know, like you've got, this is a 50-gram ball, this is a 100-gram ball, or whatever it is, or yardage. It's just up to you. Here's a really pretty little bag. Now I have to be honest with you, I might see this and grab the yarn that I need that's not actually a scrap, but maybe it's like I have a ball of this, a ball of this, a ball of this, a ball of this, and then together it's gonna, and I'll make a cake out of those complete balls as opposed to just using scraps. And that's okay though. But still, oh, that's beautiful. Triangle puff shawl. These look very simple, very easy to make, people. The puff stitch is one of my absolute favorite stitches, by the way. This is a blanket, Dave's blanket. So you can see she went from like one cake and then into another. And so you have to be okay with just letting the yarn do what the yarn's gonna do. I mean, that's one of the beauties of using yarn cakes and scraps, is that you just don't know. It's like it almost kind of like has a life of its own, and you're not throwing out the yarn, so you're not filling up a landfill, but you're actually doing something with the scraps, and you're making something absolutely beautiful out of, you know, a bunch of little pieces that don't have a home. This is interesting. This is a corner to corner blanket. That's beautiful. So your scraps can be as big or as small as you want, and you can, you know, change them up a little bit. A granny square blanket. Now this is how I have seen a lot of yarn cakes done. But still, I love this. Yarn the Yarn Addict. Juan the Yarn Addict has done some beautiful cakes. I've seen him just sit and spin cakes. And I thought, wow, what's he doing? And now I understand. Here's something just like a super little pot cover for a plant. So if you're going to give like a gift to a friend or around the holidays or something like that, and then you wanted to wrap it in, I mean, how simple. It doesn't have to be natural fiber. This can be acrylic. These are great projects for some of your acrylic scraps or anything you just kind of want to, you know, get rid of. Look at this adorable little thing. So lots of wonderful, wonderful patterns in here. I didn't keep note of how many patterns. Let's see if I can figure that out. Oh gosh, quite a bit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 patterns. 15 patterns in here. Definitely has kind of that bohemian color, even a mosaic balloon pillow. That's pretty. Love it. And then here's a set of baskets. Oh my gosh. I have so much inspiration right now, I can't even tell you. Oh, and then a hexagon. And now I have made one of those with a variegated skein, but it was just one whole skein. I didn't actually make it out of a out of scraps. Actually, this is what's left of that. So this is pretty variegated, and it was a beautiful cardigan. I use this for my, when I'm doing, you know, like little samples and swatches and things like that. Okay. Hexagon cardigans are so easy to make. You're like, yeah, sure, you say that, but no, they're not. It's a weird thing because you start making it and it does this weird ripply look, and you're like, I don't think it's gonna make sense to me. And then all of a sudden, you just bring the corners together, and it's like crochet origami, and all of a sudden, it's like boom. You're like, oh, look how that comes together. Like this wobbly looking thing here turns into that. No time. It is one of my most favorite things to make just because it's so random. You're like, there's something wrong. And then it just magically turns into something absolutely beautiful. And then it has some general techniques here in the back as well. So this book is fabulous. Oh, and then it gives you some little square variations. So much great information. The spines, super strong. In all the Dave Charles books, I have not had a book with a spine that's split. Maybe I'm lucky, but the binding on these books are really, really nice, really strong. These are really good coating. So you're getting a beautiful quality book. Again, this is coming in at $24.99. They did give me a copy to review. So this is my copy, but you can get this on Amazon. And then it's also available in the UK for $16.99. Again, the author of this book is Naomi Vincent. She's out of Devon, which is, I believe it was Devon. It's a little southern part of England. But All the patterns in this book are written in US terms, guaranteed. It says that right there in the book. I highly encourage you to check this baby out. I've shown you all the patterns, 15 patterns, and then how to make a scrap cake. But this is called Crochet Makes from Scrapcakes, and this is coming out mid-November. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing me with your friends. That's all we're asking. As always, this is Kimberly with Knit for Brains, and I'll see you soon.